plate squeaky like in the tub, debub, debub, db clean. Like, that's brain dead, but I don't know, it's kind of a vibe. I kind of was going for like a really minimalistic approach to this whole song. I wanted it to basically be centered around just having this really earthy drum in the forefront. So I started there. That's a taiko sample, which is like a big Asian drum, massive, and percussionists will hit it with these big sticks. And so I just wanted that to kind of act like an 808, kind of act like a kick driving the song. But I was pretty adamant that's the central piece that I wanted the whole song to kind of revolve around, and everything was just accenting that percussive element. And you can hear there's like a wood block working alongside that big bass tom. Yeah, the goal was just to keep everything as bare bones as possible. Yeah. So as you can see in that sample that I just played, there's the video game aspect, there's all the little beeps, the little cutesy sounds, and then there's also like this other side of the song. Like, this is a sitar sample. I wanted like that kind of Eastern droning sound in this song because conceptually it is me poking fun at new agey love and light culture. And so I wanted to have those elements that feel I'm a guru or I'm a sort of like enlightened individual while I'm like rapping these extremely egoic, chaotic lyrics. And I think I wanted a cartoony element to this whole thing. Fucking lyrics like, I wanted the whole song to not take itself too seriously. And in a lot of ways, it's just poking fun at the whole thesis of the song itself, which is taking pride in being an intellectual and a creative. But also, like, a lot of the bars in this song are extremely bad. Just like so bad that they're like genius and great. But I wanted that dichotomy. Like, I'm talking about like lobotomy and shit, but also like a lot of these lyrics give lobotomy themselves. It's absurd. Boy Genius, also, I love Boy Genius. The play on words is about like fucking Jimmy Neutron, the boy genius. But like, I do love Boy Genius, and I love Phoebe Bridgers because she's low-key the Beyonce of the group. You can never achieve my creativity. It's funny, that last line I struggled a lot with. I had a couple different versions, like Cyborg, X-Men, Wolverine. Like, I had I had like so many endings to that first verse. I just needed something to tie back to the core theme of the song. And then we get to the chorus. I just like crank the distortion on that lead, just since the production is so sparse, just to create some distinction between the verses and the chorus. And usually I'd be doubling the chorus with a bunch of different layers of vocals, but because there's a gang vocal, like call and response section, I kept that lead just one individual track and then stacked a bunch of me right here. So that's all me on unison. On chorus 2, we throw in harmonies to kind of sound like, I think I was subconsciously inspired by like, I don't know, African chanting music, or even like Jamaican, like a lot of Bob Marley songs where it feels like this like communal chant, yeah, but also like to a surprisingly like uplifting, happy tune. So like that's the highest part of my range. And honestly, some of that was Melodyne. Like, I sang it, I would like pitch the whole project down 2 or 3 steps and then sing it in that key and then re-import it into this project and then pitch that up to the correct key as this. Just because it's like, it sounds like a woman's voice. I think the only thing we added on that chorus was pretty much like a bass line. That's a didgeridoo. But it comes in and out, and it's super, like, minimal. Oh, yeah, we did throw in an 808 there. But so minimal. It's hitting, like, on the Let's see. Yeah. Oh. Doom. Doom. Just like so minimal. Yeah, the whole goal of this song was to accomplish as much dynamics with the least amount of production. I simplified the drum pattern. Just wanted to create more space. Added a little like chime, kind of like subtle elements to kind of create that ambiance, that world building that I was trying to create of this like Joshua tree, kind of like ayahuasca. Yeah, just like the bullshit of it all, which is, I'm not saying that I'm against ayahuasca and all that. Like I've had my own journey with mushrooms and like spiritual awakenings and realizations, understanding myself better. But I will say, especially in LA, there's just such this bullshit, like the most superficial, materialistic, shitty, self-centered people that you can think of, utilizing these methodologies to just like feel good about themselves or like not be completely hating their lives, when the issue is not just, I don't know, I'm not trying to get on my like soapbox, but I just get irked by the love and light kind of new agey LA influencer spirituality. It just feels so cheap. Yeah, that's the word for it. It just feels so like, I know you're saying the right things. I know I know these people use spiritual language, but they're not spiritual people. Like astrology doesn't make you a spiritual, healed, realized person. Doing ayahuasca in a jungle doesn't make you a healed, realized person. Like crystals aren't gonna make you a kind, loving, forgiving, selfless person. Like you gotta do the work. You have to have life experiences. You have to... True spirituality should be about looking outwards, helping, selflessness, serving. But I feel like in LA, spirituality is so cheapened to be about, how do I feel better? How do I stop being depressed? How do I feel better about my life? How do I get my shit together? It's like, you're missing the whole fucking point. And I think this song is like a joke on that. It's totally egoic. It's totally has an inflated view of self. And part of it is like, yeah, do I have an ego sometimes? Totally. And I'm just verbalizing it and vocalizing it in such like a overt way that it's like, it should be kind of jarring with the music. I think about this often, but I always try to find like, what are the core staple elements stylistically of my production? And although I try to do a lot of different things, meaning exploring different genres, different BPMs, different energies, like I don't try to limit myself, but I do and have been in the process of trying to like really put my finger on what are consistent stylistic elements that are in my work. And I think one of those is pulling from so many different places inspiration wise. Like in this song, there's elements of African percussion, there's elements of Indonesian gongs and Tibetan singing bowls. There's there's a punk element to it. There's this like heavy distortion that's very reminiscent of like a lot of punk artists that I really appreciate and listen to. There's gospel, towards the end of the song. Runs, there's that layering of the choir that feels very reminiscent to my days in the church. And then there's like hyperpop elements of like super electronic glitches and sampling and just hard cuts. So I think with this song, the goal was try to encapsulate kind of my aesthetic and style of always wanting to draw from different genres and cultures. I think that's kind of central to what I want to do as an artist. And it's never one thing, it's so many things. And the goal is to pull from so many different places that the finished product becomes original. Its own fusion of so many things that it becomes a new product, a new piece of work. And I think that's always the goal. I wanted to have one more section in the song that felt like it kind of gave more space. It kind of built into something more epic because the song is so not synth heavy. It's very just like drums and voice, which was the aesthetic I wanted. But for the bridge, I was like, let's pull in some synths. So the central part of this is this like bassy wobble synth on top of this sample that I found of like very glitchy electronic, like 8-bit kind of hyper poppy a little bit. I hate that word, but yeah, like kind of internet-y sounds. Like super glitchy. I wanted to just push it to the most like campy, like over the top, beautiful sounding, like, wow, this is so epic. But like, if you look at the lyrics, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what is he saying? I wanted like gospel runs and like really epic, churchy, beautiful and emotional. I wanted that, but with these like chaotic lyrics. So
stay chasing, you can stay chasing. Get out of my face, your energy is draining. Shower me with praise, they rating me amazing.
yeah, so really simple song. Actually, one of the easier songs to produce on this record. Well, actually, no, I take that back, because this song actually had a completely different version before this one that I was struggling with so much. I was trying to do something like very experimental in the sense that the song had a lot of switch ups and had a lot of like sections that were like super different, like really fast rapping and then really slow and then super electronic. It was very like punchy, Grimes, Oblivion, Genesis sounding. I was like heavy referencing that, but ultimately there were too many issues with the song, and I was like, I think I need to just start over, take the core essence that I found in that song through creating it, and like just start over on something new. And I like cutting edge. I had that hook, and then I was like, let's build from there. And then I was like, simple, less production, less doing too much. The song needs to feel easy. It needs to feel effortless. And so, yeah, and then I just started throwing in the drums. That's kind of how the song was produced. Yeah, go listen to it. It's out on Spotify right now with my new EP, and there's a video on YouTube. Y'all should check it out. Thanks for watching.